And once again, welcome everybody to the Reform Utah Family Law Update. Today is Friday, September 30th, 2016. I hope you've had a good week and hope things have been going well for you. If you are in the midst of a legal battle over parental rights, hopefully things maybe have been going your way. So welcome everybody. Glad to have you here again. And I figured it was time to get another update out. Actually, it's probably past time. I've had some health issues. Of course, that's been an issue in the past. I'm not going to go too much into that. It does slow me down sometimes. And then I'm dealing with allergies right now. It's that time of year, so that's why my eyes kind of look foggy and things like that. So anyway, let's get into the reason why I did this video. There are a number of things coming up, good developments for the fight to reform family law, and specifically with our organization to reform family law in Utah. And one of those is a speaking engagement that I have coming up next month. I will be a keynote speaker for 2020 presidential candidate Adam Kokesh. He's been featured on numerous programs, and he's also got his own YouTube channel. He has millions of views. He has a very, very different take on the government than the two-party system we have now. So that'll be a really interesting event and engagement. I will be a keynote speaker before Adam, discussing the troubles of Utah's family law system and the need for complete overhaul and reform. That will be coming up next month. I will include details on the screen here with the specifics for that in this video, okay? Let's see, next thing, and by the way, let me grab these. We will have brand new colors of our Reform Utah family law shirts available at the event, as well as vinyl stickers, information for people, contact cards. So yeah, please come out and join us if you can on that event, all right? Next, I have a burning topic that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time, and it doesn't just portray to family law, so to speak. It is a bigger issue we have in our country, and you know, family law just happens to be a small part of this issue that is engulfed in this larger issue. And what I mean by that is this: we have no accountability for our media outlets and whoever may be talking to the public about statistics and figures. You know, back in the day when journalism and reporting had ethics and had conduct to follow and things of that nature, we had actual numbers, statistics, studies, things that were all referenced back to point out the fact that those particular statistics they were talking about were actually true statistics. The problem we have today, the bigger issue countrywide, is that it is very easy for anybody to have a media outlet to talk to the public out there. Obviously, me having my own channel to talk to people about family law is a good example. Something like this would not have been available to somebody like me 20 years ago. You would not be able to do this, reach out to people through the internet, reach out through Facebook, have your own mini studio where you can record these videos, you can record programs, and then send that out to the public to digest. That's great to have all that now because it gives a lot of people voices that never had voices before, including myself. The problem that we have now is that it has become very sloppy and very irresponsible, as far as journalism, as far as ethics, as far as conduct, and people that have an agenda to push will use all kinds of sloppy research or even made up statistics to back up their argument. And, today, if you hear something, people just automatically assume that must be the correct number, or that must be the correct statistic, or that must be the correct story behind something, because we've gotten away from accountability. And that's the big word for this entire segment is accountability. We no longer have accountability in our media. We no longer have accountability in our politicians. We no longer have accountability in our courts and our legal systems, attorneys with ethics, things of that nature. And it's going to be the downfall of this country if we don't do something about it. Now, I know some of you know I'm working on a film to expose the corruption I've experienced and seen firsthand in the Utah family law court system. Part of this journey and part of the reason that this movie has taken so long for me to continue to leg forward on it is because I want to have more responsible reporting. Although you would have to say that I do come from a biased perspective initially because of my bad experiences with the system, at the same time, I'm about telling the truth. And that's not always probably going to jive with the, with the agenda that some people have or the direction I was even taking with the film. But the thing is I'm here to tell the truth and expose the corruption, not be part of the problem, okay? So with that in mind, we have to have accountability restored in this country. And that starts with the media, because the public digests everything that the media sends out. I would be considered part of the media at this point with videos. So it goes all the way down to little guys like me that have channels, small channels on the internet, on YouTube or Facebook, all the way up to these huge multi-billion-dollar corporations. We have lost accountability. Now that needs to be restored. When we go out and we hear politicians speak, we, as myself personally, have sat in on court cases and seen judges throw things around that they say is fact or is law, and it in fact isn't. There's no accountability. Those are a couple examples. Another good example is you read a story and the title of it, you can already tell, is swayed one way or the other on whatever discussion it may be, and they will follow that with their own statistics to support that biased view or agenda. Now, that's not to say every person out there or every outlet is looking to bias or corrupt the information that gets to the public or the view that the public has. I certainly don't think that. I do think there's still ethical people out there. However, we need to get back to a place of accountability and responsibility that goes all the way down to families, children, the public as a whole, politicians, judges, lawyers, the entire system in general, media, just about everything else out there, accountability, accountability, accountability needs to be rolled back into the ethics and morals of our country, or it will be our undoing. Okay? I am starting a new program called The Lunchbox, and that will be featured. I may link the videos on this channel for RUFL Utah, and it's what it's going to be is we're hoping to shoot once a week, a 20 to 30 minute show each week. Basically, we discuss whatever the hell we want to discuss, and I plan on bringing guests into the studio. We'll have a discussion. There may be times we have debates, disagreements, but the point of the show is to discuss these modern day issues that we have, and they're going to range from anything and everything. We will be discussing those and maybe talking about possible solutions for that. One of the biggest things that has got our country tipped upside down right now is accountability. Accountability. I can't stress that enough. That creates the corruption. It creates the wills for people to have financial incentives to do the wrong things. And you know, a good example right now in the news is the Wells Fargo scandal. We have scandals with certain politicians running for president, and I just keep coming back to the same thing: accountability. So that's probably going to wrap up the video for today. You know, like I said, we have that event coming up. I'm going to be speaking for Adam, 2020 presidential candidate for the United States. I will be speaking for him. The information will be on this video on the screen. That will be next month. I'm excited about that. We are continuing forward with our film. You know, I would have certainly loved to have had this film out a lot sooner, but I'm finding that if I want to be delivering a film in a responsible manner, even if it doesn't always go the direction that I want it to go, I need to have resources and links and information to touch back to that I can quantify and tell people, look, this is where I got this 80% statistic. This is where I got this 1 in 4 statistic. And you can go here and read about it. So I want to be very diligent and ethical and try to do the best accountability that I can do for this film so that we get you the least biased and most factual film that we can get you. Does that mean that everything is going to be exactly 1000% to the T, exactly how it happens? No, because even when you have accountability, if you're depending on outside sources for some of your statistics, they can be botched. They can be slanted one way or the other. So, you know, unless you're doing everything top to bottom, your studies, your statistics, your surveys, everything like that, there is no human way possible to rule out every bit of bias or ethics, you know, being slanted one way or another. You do the best that you can. But a big problem I have in today's world is that we allow the media to slant things whatever direction they want and steer the direction of our company because of their influence on society. So that will be the topic more in depth on the new Lunchbox program. So that will probably be our first topic of discussion. I hope you will join me on that program. We will continue to do RUFL Utah updates here, and more specific news will be on this channel geared towards Utah family law reform and law reform for families nationwide and worldwide as a whole. So I hope you join me there. Glad to have you here. I hope you stuck through this with me, because accountability is so important in today's world, and we are lacking it everywhere. Please join me on the next RUFL Utah update. Join me on the lunchbox. Once we get it up, we'll link it here. Until next time, be safe, and remember, family is the #1 most important thing in our society. Take care.